Just wanted to ask specific questions about Ms.45. Working on that particular film, there were different film citations quoted, etc. Did you participate in the scriptwriting on that film at all?
On Ms.45, no. But this script was very, very minimal. Actually, it was written in, as I recall, every scene had was more or less a paragraph on a page describing it. For one thing, most of the scenes were simply with me alone or interacting silently with other people because I was mute. It had a very minimal script, and a lot of discussion went on the day before each shoot, where we would get into what we do the next day. And that is not a good clue as to how the rest of Abel Ferrara's films are made. But I mean, they are made from scripts, and it's much more planned. But this particular film, I think, particularly due to the fact that my character, which was so often alone in scenes, was mute, that was the way it was done.
With Bad Lieutenant, there's something about that film where I had read once, and you can contradict this if it isn't true, that Nicholas St. John, his normal scriptwriter, had said that that particular topic was not something he wanted to work on, so instead Abel Ferrara wrote that with you.
I think there was something that occurred. Although Nicholas St. John writes alone, Abel does not write with Nicholas St. John, and I wrote this alone. Also, really, Abel is a wonderful director, but he's not a screenwriter, and somehow, with me, due to that second credit that he has, which really is not accurate, and even with Nicholas St. John, for some reason, people seem to think that Abel writes the scripts. He does not, you know, and Nicky should get his credit where it's due, and so should I.
So would you say there's improvisation that goes on in the scripts? He feels that by altering the scripts, therefore, then they become his co-scripting credit? Do you think that's where it comes from? Or?
I don't think Abel has even had much to do with this. I think it's just a lot of people thought that Bad Lieutenant was something that probably wasn't written by a woman. I think a lot of people are in love with the concept of an auteur and kind of go after that. You know, it's wonderful that he's a fine director, and that's great, and I don't think it really has been due to him that this has occurred, anyway.
And the scene you're in with him is an incredibly intense scene. That's something that, of course, Ferrara has returned to since then, the idea of addiction, but there's an incredible reality in that scene, and I'm just wondering, Paul Morrissey had talked about in Trash that he had Joe D'Alessandro had shot up water. I'm wondering what you guys did to get yourself in kind of a mood for that particular intense shooting up scene and that.
We didn't do anything to get in the mood for that. They were real injections of saline solution. I wrote that particular scene due to the fact that it needed to encompass some material from some other scenes that were cut and some characters that were cut. Actually, I wrote the final dialogue for those scenes about 5 minutes before they were shot, memorized them, and did them. Excuse me. There was nothing particularly done to get us in the proper mood for that. We were all in character and so forth. And during Harvey's nod, I was on my knees in front of him off camera and was shot MOS without sound. I told him what to do and how to.
So you were in effect co-directing that scene.
In a way, you could say that, I guess. And I directed some of the erotic scenes where they were felt more at home with a woman.
The two women in the room with him, where he's nude?
Yeah, there was a lot more material shot on that also, so that we could get to the high points, and those were perhaps the hardest in terms of getting the actresses to come up with those things and come out with that kind of intensity, even just the ambience in the moment. Even though just a couple of seconds, a great deal of footage was shot, and I had a lot to do with the direction of those things, the scenes that you see, and also a lot of scenes you don't see that were nonetheless very useful to get them to. I believe they both broke down in tears finally when we were done shooting. They were so stressed.